Hi. Today I wanted to talk about this little raccoon that I made. Um, I got the free pattern online. I will leave a link to the pattern in the comments section, in the description section. He was pretty easy to make. It was pretty straightforward. You make his little body and his little head. Well, I think I started with his head. Make his little head, and then down the body, and then make his little arms, legs, his little tail, and I made his little eye spots and his snout. The only thing was when I put his eye spots on the head, it seemed like his little white eyebrows stuck off more than I wanted them to, so all I did was stitch him down more with some white yarn. And then also what I did with him was I made him a little vest. That was not part of the pattern. Let's see. Well, it looks red, but it's orange. And so I did this without a pattern. So what I did was I made the foundation. I started with a foundation stitch, the foundation chain, and then I took his little, and then I saw how far it was. Like I measured around his little body, so I knew how long to make it. And then I just started doing single crochets to make rows. I did a few rows. I think 1, 2, I did maybe 3 rows. And then I felt like that was long enough. And then how do you make the armholes? Well, what I did was I was crocheting, and then I stopped and I held it against his little body like this, and I saw where his little arm was. So then I put a stitch marker here and a stitch marker here, so I would know where the armholes were going to be. And then I did the same thing over here. Put a stitch marker here and a stitch marker here. And then what I was doing with as I started the next row, I chained, to make the armhole, I chained one, and then I started making a chain up. And at the first stitch marker I had, I chained up and around until I had a little chain reaching the next stitch marker. And then I stopped and I just single crocheted across, and then until I got to the next stitch marker, and then I made another chain up like this to the next stitch marker, and then I single crocheted again, and then I turned and I kept, and then when I got back to I was single crocheting, and then when I got back to where I'd made the chain, I went up and over that to make a little vest for him. That seemed like the easiest way for me to do that. If sometimes in what they'll have you do as well is just make something like this and then attach armholes, like make armholes separately and attach them onto the garment. I thought it was easier just to do it while I was crocheting. Make a little. It was easy enough to do, but it's not something that I had done before, so it was my first time making garments for a stuffed animal that way. But I think he came out pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with how he came out. I made this for one of my friends because they like raccoons, and favorite color is orange, of course. So he's got to have a little orange vest, kind of like a trash man or trash worker, so to speak. I had seen another pattern online with a little raccoon that had a hat and a trash can, a vest, and all that. And I thought that was a great idea. I just made the vest though, because that pattern was kind of expensive, and so I just went with the free pattern and then made my own vest just out of the blue. But that's it for now. I still have not received that box in the mail of the new crochet kit, so now I'm starting to feel like maybe it's not coming. Oh, these scammers. What are we gonna do with them? They're preying on those of us that love crocheting and showing us these cute little critters that we can make, and then they don't send us the box that we pay for. Well, hopefully it's still on the way, but right now I'm kind of losing hope for it. But we shall see. Anyways, until next time, keep crocheting.